Hi there, my name's Lewis Hallam and I'm the owner and founder of Lemiyu. So I've got a very important question for you all today, which is this. Have you ever been on a website that is so badly designed, so just everywhere? The navigation is awful, the user experience is terrible, there's images everywhere, you can't find where you're supposed to be going, and you've just instantly clicked off it. I know I have, I've been on thousands of websites like that. Now let me ask you a second question. Is your website actually optimized to the point where you can confidently say that no one has ever clicked off your website? Didn't think so. If that's the case, then stick around. I've got 5 tips on how to make an optimized website. The first thing is that speed does matter. If your website is taking more than a second to load, then you've got a problem. If it's taking more than 3 to 5 seconds to load, then you're losing a huge amount of visitors. In fact, 40% of your audience will be disappearing after that point. So a couple of things that you can do to improve the speed is you can use compressed images, so convert to a .webp format. That's going to allow the images to load up faster, it's going to reduce the overall size of them. The second thing is to minimize excessive plugins. Don't use too many plugins, don't use too many scripts. And the third is to use fast hosting and caching. And what that's going to do is it's going to increase the speed of your website significantly. So the second tip that I've got is to make navigation effortless. Every single one of your customers should be able to find exactly what they want in less than 3 clicks. If it's taking any more than 3 clicks, if it's 4 plus, you've got a problem. So keep it simple. Make sure that your menus are very easy to find, that they're clearly labeled, and that they've got all the key points of your navigation within. Make sure that important links are easy to find. Make sure that you've got calls to actions which are easy to identify on your website. And if you really need to, include a search bar for quick access. That's going to allow customers to be able to search your website for exactly what they want. So tip number 3 is this. Mobile optimization is non-negotiable. Most people think that just because they've built a website for desktop means that it's automatically optimized for mobile. It doesn't. In fact, actually 60% of traffic generally comes from a mobile device. The first thing that you want to do in that is make sure that you're using a responsive design that adapts to all access. You want to make sure that it's accessible for desktop, tablet, and mobile. Secondly, make sure that buttons are large enough to read. You want to make sure that they're clearly visible even if someone transfers from a desktop device to a mobile device. And third and finally, avoid tiny fonts. Just because you can use a tiny font on a desktop and it works fine, doesn't mean that you should use a tiny font on a mobile device. Make sure that everything is still readable, especially when you transfer across to a different device. Tip number 4 that I've got is to make sure that you've got clear call to actions, or CTAs as they say. This drives conversion. What you want to make sure that you're doing as well is any call to actions that you've got need to be the primary action point that you want the customer to take. So there's no point asking a customer to send you an email as your first call to action if you actually want them to book a meeting. Simple. So make sure that you use clear call to actions like get a free quote, shop now, find the latest products, and that's going to help redirect customers to where you want them to be. Make sure that your call to actions stand out. So don't use a yellow button on a yellow background. It's not going to be visible. Make sure that you're using contrasting colors. And also, try to place the call to action where customers will naturally go. Try to get a feel for what stands out in your website, i.e. high imagery, high contrast of colors, and try and place the call to actions in a place where the customers are going to see it. Not at the very bottom of the page. Make it quite bold, make it quite clear, slap bang in the middle, very easy to identify. The fifth tip that we've got for you is to make sure that you are search engine optimized. What we mean by that is that you want high density of keywords that represent your unique selling point and what you want search engines to find you on. So ultimately, if you've not used the keywords that you want to display on the search engines, it means that you're just going to have a website. no one's really going to be able to find it. And if, say, for example, you're selling tyres in Northeast Derbyshire, if someone puts tyres in Northeast Derbyshire, and you've not got that on your website, they're not going to be able to find you, which means that you're losing out on customers. So make sure that you use keywords that are naturally in your page titles, in your headings, in your content. Every piece of content is a way to get your key search titles into it. Optimize meta descriptions to improve the click-through rates, keep URLs short, clear, and keyword friendly, and make sure that you regularly update your site with fresh, valuable content to stay relevant. So this pretty much ties everything together, and these are our 5 tips for making a really good website. If you can follow these tips, then that's going to boost your audience engagement and your search engine optimization through the roof, to the point where you're going to get more customers staying on your website. They're going to be easier to find it, and you're going to have a higher conversion rate. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.